God is still working, and I'm so glad He is. Hello there, this is Pastor Pete. Thank you for joining me for this edition of the Daily Devo. Don't forget about my website, pastorpete.org. You can sign up to get these daily Devos delivered right into your inbox. Learn more about our ministry, and there's a bunch of other resources there for you at pastorpete.org. Today I've been reflecting in John chapter 5, an interesting passage here. Jesus is healing people, which He's known to do, and it was a big part of His ministry, but He's really messed up here, at least in the eyes of some, because He's healing people on the Sabbath, and that was a big no-no. You're not supposed to be working on the Sabbath, and Jesus is in some hot water here with the religious people. Here's what it says in verse 17 of John 5. Jesus responded to them, "My Father is still working, and I am working also." This is why the Jews began trying all the more to kill Him. Not only was He breaking the Sabbath, that's a big no-no, but He was even calling God His own Father, making Himself equal to God. So they're upset with Jesus about two things. Two things have them pretty riled up. One, He's breaking the Sabbath. Two, He's calling God His daddy, and they didn't care too much for that. Today I want to just kind of focus on the Sabbath portion of this. You know, we learned something here from Jesus about the Sabbath, and that is God is still working on the Sabbath. God never stops working. Yeah, I know on the seventh day, the Bible says He rested from all of His work of creation. That's true, He did. But God didn't do that because He was tired. He didn't do that because He was worn out. He didn't do it because He needed a break. He did it to set an example for us, a divine example for us to be people who rest. We're supposed to work for 6 and be off for 1. It's not a covenantal command for us as believers in Jesus Christ. This isn't a part of the New Testament covenant that was made in the blood of Christ, but it is beneficial for us. Our bodies were created to rest. That's why we sleep at night. It's why a nap in the afternoon feels really good sometimes, right? We cannot go 24/7. And God said from the very beginning, I want you to have an example. And so He rested, and He instituted that for His people. Work for 6 and rest for 1. That's a good thing. And we should probably all take note of that, and we could probably all learn from it. And we would probably all be blessed if we practice that a little bit more. God blesses those who trust Him with a day of rest, who trust Him to stop. But the real lesson here is that God is still working. That's what Jesus is trying to say here. Hey, my Father is still working, and so I'm working also. I don't have to take a day of rest like the rest of you guys do. I'm not tired. I'm not worn out. It doesn't work for me that same way. And I don't know about you, but I'm thankful God's still working, even on the Sabbath. He's healing. He's forgiving. He's loving. He's restoring. He's doing all of those great divine works. He's working on our hearts. He's transforming us even on the Sabbath. God never stops working. He will never stop working on you. He'll never stop working on me. He'll never stop working in our world. And we should rejoice about that. He never stops working, but you should. One day a week, try to take a little rest. I hope this encourages you. I hope it blesses you. And I hope you have a great, wonderful, awesome day. Come over and visit me at pastorpete.org. Can't wait to see you again for the next Daily Devo.